Alright, welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 485. We here reviewed episodes 36 to 39 of Boonboomger. And oh boy, we get a lot of interesting stuff happening over the course of these 4 episodes. So, with the previous episode, Dust Race has been defeated. Yeah, basically the episode just after they just introduced the main villain of the show. So basically for the next couple episodes, so there's like, for basically 36, 37, there's technically no new, like, general introduced. Yeah. Basically, the Lucky Cedars are basically on their own. Yeah, for 2 episodes. They did this kind of the same thing when after Bridges for Dust Race basically showed up here. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. So, in the case of 36, mind you, 36 is basically a Bun Pink episode. Where at one point during the course of the episode, her basically her morpher is stolen by her friend, who wants to become an actress. Also, apparently 36 is the start of the final arc of Boonboomger that takes the last 14 episodes of this series. It's a nice standalone episode. I did actually enjoy it. By the way, in case you're curious though, the monster of this episode is, well, mostly put, it's basically a squid monster. Yes, a squid monster. Who is based on a refrigerator known as Rosinko Grammar and Suzuki Grammar, which is a vacuum cleaner. Because, of course, basically we have vacuum cleaner again. Yeah, not really sure. Well, in the case of this one, the vacuum cleaner one, this actually was returned. These two are basically reused monsters from previous episodes. Razuka Grammar had previously appeared in episode 14, and he comes back here. In the case of Suzuki Grammar, who previously appeared back in episode 2 of the show, they just brought it back here for some reason. Yeah, by the way, the guest character's name is Akinogi, and this is her solo appearance in the entire show. And apparently she was in Zenkaiger. Yep, she was previously in Zenkaiger. That would be interesting to discuss at some point. But yeah, nice download episode. We do see return. Basically, we're building us up with the ISA director. And 37 mostly put is a visit to Bun Blue's past, where he's beautifully captured by someone he knows who's passed. Name Satya. Yeah, she just randomly shows up in this episode, and she previously appeared in Ultraman Blazer. And by the way, this woman's 30 years old and she's gorgeous. No denying that. It's like kind of a very interesting one per se, but it's another like standalone character episode. This one, 38. Oh boy, we get a lot of help in this one. So basically, it's an episode focused on the Lucky Cedars, who are Yanakar, yes, Yanakar, Yayakar, Decorate, and Ishida, where they kind of get flashback when they first met. And also, we also have another Yanakar show up. One looks very rad, claims he's basically elite, and he basically absorbs a lot of gasoline. He claims he's from the same family as Yanakar, despite the fact he's never in for it all. This is what he claimed. So apparently he claims that after he was born, he left his home planet and got hit by a meteorite and got amnesia. And like, oh, we had this special school with a high SA, and he's off to go, but he's basically turns in the very end. Yep. Yeah. And of course, also he shows up here, and then like you got guys like he's about to leave, and then by sheer randomness, here comes Engine Speeder in his most recent appearance date. Now, in the case of 12, there was a reason why for that one. This felt completely random. It's like, oh, let's throw an Engine Speeder, and apparently he has a past with Bio. Basically, him and Bell and Violet are basically battling the Killer Robo in this episode. Like, they start fighting them for some reason. It felt like they're like, I saw this scene like, wait, why is he attacking them for? Like, is it vengeance for something? It's not very clear. And then Speeder's like, okay, knocks the car away, never seen again. He merges with basically the Bio Robo and becomes basically a combination of like the Angel Robo and this Robo too. And they beat the Killer Robo, and then by the end of the episode, where the Boonboomgers are fighting them anyways, are confronted by Chief Officer Grant's Risk. It's a play on great, basically having a great risk. And he hears like, and of course Bun's like, oh, that's the chief supervisor of the Hiroshima family, which kind of interesting, basically call him that. And I was like, oh, it's on Banderas' voice I hear. I was my thinking, bye. And then the very next episode, by the way, basically Spender is on his way via his prison planet, which he is transformed into a spaceship, actually more like a giant car in space, which is kind of weird. And then he manages to, like, he arrives on the planet. By the way, the 39 is an introduction to a brand new character. Yes. In the episode Screaming Stars, this episode is noteworthy for two major things. One, of course, basically Sabu she's basically here. Most of what she's here in the background. She doesn't do much. This episode she does a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on with her with this one. So throughout Battle with the Monster episode, basically, we'll get back to that. So then Grant Risk introduces him to the Lockheed Cedars and says, "Oh, you guys basically survived 2 dead commanders. You become my subordinates now." And by the way, he is the last general of the entire series. He is the 4th one seen, and he's the last one because in 39, and like 9 episodes later, the show is this particular series is over. Yeah, 9 more to go. Oh yeah, and also the fact that we also introduced to, we saw I have that scene there. We also have the debut of Miami Basu. Yes. Who's only 31 years old. And she's an idol. Yep. Well, just remember Alban Nazuki 46. Yeah. And this is by far her only sole Sentai contribution to this one show. Yep. Oh yeah, she's a friend of Sabaru, and then of course basically like, so, and then randomly after like Grantis becomes the Great Series commander, he just drops a sponge on the ground. And you're like, what? Why the heck would he drop a sponge for? And that becomes Monster episode cleaning something, cause all the Rangers disappear. Yep. And of course also Toya basically his Morpher is like sliced in half, which I gotta admit, basically, for Morpher being damaged like that, this is probably the first time in quite a while that we had a Ranger Morpher get damaged like this. I mean, like, as far as I can tell, like, you're probably thinking, did this happen, King Andre? No, it did not, because Morphers were the swords. Excuse me. You're probably thinking, what about Dawn Brothers? I only watched the first episode of that one. But what about Zenkaiger, Kara Major, Loop Ranger vs. Panther Ranger vs. Soldier? I don't know because I never saw them. But how about ending for this one? Well, prior to this very episode, I'm trying to think, like, the only times I can think of this may have happened. You're thinking, did it happen to Go Ranger? Nope. Jack? Nope. Bakuage Jane? Nope. The first time I saw kind of something like this happen was actually in Hurricane, believe it or not. Yes. Though basically, Banderas basically wants to go out and give Toya a replacement morpher, but he can't go out because Speeder is looking for him. By the way, Speeder's arrival is interesting, where they unleash this golden staircase. He just walks down, and we see our main villain riding in a limo. Yes, an alien who rides in a limo. I am not kidding about that. He seriously does that. Which is arranged for him by the International Space Agency. You know, the government organization to defend the Earth against aliens is colluding with an alien. Yeah. Yeah, then of course basically so basically uses a boom boom car, squeezes the sponge, gets the Rangers back, which they only got their helmets on. Like, I mean, she gives Toya, and by the way, she's piloting this car without a boom boom suit. Yes. And looking up, basically, Boonboomger takes her away. So the main fight, basically, by the way, before this, this is where Toya gets introduced to Speeder, and Grant's wrist proceeds to beat the crap out of him. And it's like, I'll leave the rest to you. And he leaves, and that's when everything else basically goes against him. And then they beat him, and then the episode ends where Ratia and Tio, Toya's mentor, is seen sharing a room with Speeder. And he's going to enjoy some Earth cuisine prior to their talking about work. And that's the episodes. Quite interesting set of episodes. Because looking like, okay, we have a Bun Pink episode, Bun Blue. You could say 38 is more like a Lucky Cedar episode, but this episode 39 has a lot of plot development. Yes. The one thing I didn't like about this was, like, I'm happy Speeder was back for the brief period in 38, but it felt completely random. Like, why the heck was he there? Was he summoned for some reason? By the way, he does not show up again after this. It just, he knows Bandori. For some reason. Not really very clear with that. But otherwise, though, very interesting set of episodes. And also, we have 9 more to go, and then we're done. We're just about done with this one. I'm looking forward to ending this one, okay? Yep. So, yeah, that's the game. If you please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. I'll see you all later. After my stream, okay? Next video. Bye.